Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to my channel. My name's Garrett and I do makeup. And you may be asking, why are we in a bathroom? Today we are in a bathroom because I need to clean my makeup brushes. Halloween just ended, I've been doing a lot of makeup in between, so it's time to clean them. And I didn't want to just clean them to do so because it's really bad for your brushes to just constantly clean them. It is hair, like any product of a natural variety, can decompose with overuse and you care. So we are here because I need to use a sink. So guys, let's go down to the sink below and let's clean some brushes. So here we go guys, we are in the bathroom at the sink and we are going to do a how-to on how to take care of and clean your makeup brushes. So like I said earlier, it's really not good to clean them too often. Of course, anytime you use them, clean your brushes. But if you just feel like cleaning them, it's not good for them. It is hair. I use all natural bristle brush, and the hair, just like the ones on your head, can splinter, they can fray, they can get split ends, and then you're gonna have to toss them and get new brushes. So you wanna use product that is not too harsh on the brush itself, and also product that will help keep the longevity of the brush, long story short. So I'm going to use as little rubbing alcohol as possible just to disinfect. And to clean the brush, since it is hair, I'm actually going to be using shampoo. Now you can use brush cleaner and there are a lot of good ones out there, but a lot of them are really harsh and have high alcohol content or other products like alcohol, which do disinfect, but it also does dry out the bristle of the brush. And it causes a lot of problems. So here I've got my brushes and they're just standing inside of a toilet paper tube. It's the easiest way I've found to be able to keep them all together. And here I got my sink and here I got my shampoo. So the shampoo that I like to use is Suave. It literally is my favorite and it's the Daily Clarifying. It has the least amount of oil or anything like that in it. It literally just has cleaners and disinfectants and we're gonna use this to clean our brushes. So let's get going. So not to waste water, I'm gonna go ahead and start getting just some warm water in my sink. It does need to be warm water. Cold water won't help pull off the makeup as easily. Keep in mind, warm water will help the foaming and sudsing of the shampoo. Cold water will help stop it. So if you have a sink full of bubbles that you need to pop, turn on the cold, and if you need to create more bubbly, turn on the warm. There we go, now we got some warm water, and I'm just gonna fill my sink a little bit, and I'm gonna make a shampoo bath. Now keep in mind, you can just run the water, but I don't like to just keep running water. It's not good for the environment. You want to save the environment, save them waters. Agitate it just a little bit to get a nice little fluff. And once you got a nice little bath, we're gonna turn it off. So right here, I've got a table set up with a towel. So as soon as I clean my brushes, I can bring them over here and start letting them dry. You do want them to dry completely prior to attempting to disinfect, simply because of the fact that you want a dry product before you start putting alcohol on it. The alcohol will absorb the moisture and the water out of the brush, but if the brush hasn't had proper time to dry, sometimes you're drying in some of the makeup product onto the brush. So I'm going to start with the brushes that are least affected. This one is going to be my, I do believe this is my my powder brush. So I'm just going to get a little bit damp, and I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to cup it. We don't want to be pushing against anything. This is the furrow of the brush. And if you flatten the bristles to it, you're gonna start damaging the end of the brush. So you just want a natural, small motion. And I'm just gonna start by wetting the brush a little bit. And now it's starting to suds just a little bit. And then once I know that the brush is nice and sudsy, I'm gonna put a little shampoo in my hand. And I'm just gonna work this in using a cupped hand and pushing down, but without forcing the bristle. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a pushing motion from the ferrule out, trying to pull off any color or any makeup that may be on the brush. But I'm not going to be coming back with anything attacking my brush. I'm not going to be using a wire brush on this. This isn't a paintbrush. Maybe a similar technique to cleaning a paintbrush, but we're not going to be damaging the hair. These things ain't cheap, they're expensive. Give it a little rinse. I'm going to set this on the side and I'm going to come back and rinse them all at once as to save water. And remember what I said, if you need to get rid of bubbles, use cold water. There we go. So now we've cleaned the brush, and what we've done is we've removed most of the product. There's still going to be some product in the brush, but instead of just using continuous water and streaming it down and spending 15 minutes just running a sink, I went ahead and cleaned off as much as I could using the same water. So the brushes themselves are all going to be a little bit contaminated now because the water itself was a little murky, as you can see, especially like the darker eyeshadow and the orange. I mean, all the brushes are going to have a little product in it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to run the water and rinse the brushes. If the brushes don't come clean, we're going to add a little more shampoo, work it in, and we're just going to keep working until the brush water that runs out of your hand is clean. So once again, the reason you're cupping your hand is now I'm making all the muscles firm. So I do have something hard to rub the brush against. I can also use the bottom of the sink, but by using my hand, I also know how much pressure I'm applying to the bristles of the brush as not to damage them. So I really emphasize just using your own natural beauty tools, and don't worry about trying to bring in a brush cleaner or any like rough textured board. I mean, the brushes are shaped a certain way and it's really easy to make them lose their shape and damage them. An angle brush that can cost you about $45 can be turned into just a normal round fluffy brush in less than 10 minutes if you do it wrong. It's not hard, just don't damage them. Alright, so let's keep going. So now I have all my brushes cleaned. And just keep in mind there's two really important things you need to think about when cleaning brushes. One is removing all the product from the brush. You are trying to make the brush as fresh as possible and as clean as possible. The second thing to really remember is to remove all the cleaner from the brush. No matter what cleaner you're using, you don't want to use something that's going to be foaming, leave it in the brush, let it dry, and then you come to put makeup on your face and your face starts sudsing. Now it sounds a little crazy, but it's the same thing with your hair and shampoo. Have you ever washed your hair and not gotten all the shampoo out and then still throughout the day you feel like foamy bubbles in your head? Happens with brushes too. There was one time I was putting on makeup for a show, asked to borrow someone's brush, and all of a sudden, blah, 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 I had to redo my entire face again, and I was so frustrated. Blah. But so you want to clean the brush and remove all the product you can and remove all the cleaner. Now the next step with these brushes is I'm going to have to let them dry. So I want to help them by removing as much of the moisture from the bristle as possible prior to letting them sit dry. And the thing is, I do not want to blow dry them. I do not want to blow on them with my mouth. These things can also help contaminate the brush. You want to let them just naturally sit and dry. And some people will be like, well, the bacteria could grow during that time. Yes, but then I'm not putting the bacteria from my mouth on the brush. And I'm not blowing my dirty blow dryer air on the brush. And I'm going to take them out of the bathroom so that way they're not sitting in this room of possible filth on the brush. I clean my bathroom really well, don't worry. But it's that kind of thing. So I'm going to show you that we're just going to squeeze out all the moisture we can, give it a little flick, 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 and then we're going to let them dry, and then we'll continue from there. Now, one important thing to remember is you saw me not only flick, flick, flick the brush, but I kind of flicked the bristles with one of my fingers, just kind of knocking the end. Now, the reason is you don't want to sit there and squeeze all the moisture out and then let it just be tight together, because then what you're doing is just creating a wet environment. Then that's when your bacteria is going to start breeding, and on top of that, your brush is not going to dry very quickly. So after you squeeze out all the moisture, flick, 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 you also want to open up the bristles and try to get them to fluff out of it. This allows the air to come in and out and the moisture to kind of like leave the brush. And if you don't do that, then you just have this tight brush that's gonna be gross and nasty. And when you do makeup for other people, like I do makeup, people hire me for makeup to them, to face, to yes, like yes. You wanna make sure that you're using clean brushes for them as well. And I do use the same brush set, but I disinfect it between each client, I clean it between each client, I make sure that they're ready for the client. All that stuff can also affect your face. If your skin's sensitive, if there's bacteria on the brush, you can start breaking out more, stuff like that. So if you're getting problems with acne, you might just need to clean your brushes. And now we sit and wait, and then once they're dry, we'll go from here. Hey guys, welcome back to the studio, which is actually my bedroom. But here we're gonna go through the sanitation process. So we just cleaned all the brushes, we used shampoo because the brushes are made out of hair, and shampoo is good for hair. We used a shampoo that has little to no extra things. It's mainly just a detergent, which is the Clean and Clear from Suave. And now we're gonna sanitize the brushes. So I do sanitize my brushes. I just try to mitigate the amount of harsh chemical I put on any of them because they are fairly expensive and they are hair. Like, would you wanna dip your hair in a tub of bleach? And I don't mean like dyeing the color of your hair, that's different. I mean literally washing your head with bleach. It's not good for you or your hair. So why would you do that to your brushes, which you put on your face as well? So what I'm using is 91% isopropyl alcohol. This is not denatured alcohol, this is isopropyl alcohol. And it's hard to find more than 91%. If you can, more power to you. But what I've done is I put it in this little squeeze bottle, which I just got from Walgreens. And I like to use this to kind of sanitize the brushes. So what I'll do is I'll grab one of the bigger brushes here. I'll just make sure it's nice and good to dry. They're all dry. It's been about an hour and a half now. And you just take a couple squirts from about 6 inches away. You don't want to get too much. And then I just take a little cotton poof and I give it a little wipe. And then I just pull up little cotton pieces, and yes, I blew on the brush, and you shouldn't blow on your brush. Now that I've blown on the brush, actually, I'm gonna go back through and sanitize it again. Blowing on your brush is a bad thing. There's a lot of bacteria in your mouth. You blow on the brush, it gets in the brush, and you don't want to put that on your client's face. That'd be real rude and gross. If every time you blow on the brush, just re-sanitize it. So just a couple puffs from a little bit away, and we are now good to go. The brush has been sanitized and cleaned, and I'm just gonna put it in its little home, because I've got a nice little brush roll, and I'm just gonna move through the brushes. So 2 ways of doing this. You can either spray from a distance, not close, a distance, or you can spray onto the cotton poof and then use the cotton poof to clean. I like to put directly on the brush. So now that all my brushes have been sanitized, we're gonna shape the brush. Now, some people might not like doing this. This might be weird for you, that's fine. But this is the same technique that painters use. So if I need to shape my brush, I can either use my mouth, which if they're only my brushes, or I can use my fingers. So if I need to reshape the brush, and this is my set, these aren't the ones I use for my clients, you can take it into your mouth, use your tongue and pull out, or you can just take your fingers and shape it. So you want to make sure that you're keeping the shape of the brush. As you're washing them, you can start damaging the actual shape because the brush has kind of like a starchy material in it which will hold it in shape when you first buy them, and then as you wash them it wears that down, and then you want to make sure you keep the edge. And that's how you clean your brushes, guys. It's simple as that. Do that with makeup, you can be anybody, and I hope that you tune into my channel again. Thanks. Bye.